This is a supplemental video for using layers to create transparency. At this point you should be familiar with this setup. This is just expanding on the previous video on transparency. So we have the yellow here. It's made of equal parts of red light and green light, and we're using the cyan, which is made up of equal parts of green and blue light. One of the reasons these two colors have been selected is we can see that the green is 255 in each of these, so that means that any transparent area that's created will have to have a green value in RGB of 255, so that remains fixed, leaving the only variables of red and blue. One of the reasons we're leaving this gray here from the original template is for selection. This will not show up later, and we'll show you what's going on here. So what we'll do is we'll switch to our magic wand using a shortcut key. We'll make sure continuous is checked, so we only get one of them. Create a new layer. Now we can title the layer as we showed in the earlier video. I'm not going to do that in this one. We'll go ahead and select the horizontal, although it doesn't matter as we discussed in the first one. And we'll go ahead and make another new layer. And we're going to select the yellow. And for this one we're going to have the yellow on top. So we're going to keep the opacity above 50. We'll do 75, which is pretty common. Now when looking at this with the eyedropper tool, we'll notice that the amount of red is higher than the amount of blue, the blue being the variable for the cyan. The 75%, so we're seeing basically what we did was took 255 times 75%, that's the red from the yellow, which gives us the 195, and we're taking 25%, the amount of the cyan we're seeing, times that blue, which is basically giving us that 65. That's how we're arriving at those numbers. So let's go ahead and go back to our original background layer. Actually, we can merge these two layers. Merge layers. So back to the background layer. Magic wand this gray. We're going to pick up that cyan again with the eyedropper. Go ahead and paint it in here. We're going to go back to a new layer for our center. Eyedropper. Drop it in here into the selected area that we previously selected. And for the ambiguous, it's 50%, 50 of each. And again, remember our variables. The red is for the yellow. We're going to see half of the yellow be present here, which gives us the 128. 255 times half, 128, it's 127.5, rounding up. And then half of the cyan, again 255 times half, 127.5, rounded up to 128. Let's go ahead and do our last one. Switch back to the background layer. Wand, eyedropper, paint bucket, new layer, eyedropper, paint bucket, and this time we want it to look like it's below the cyan, so we need to go below 50%. Go to the standard 25. Same basic idea. So it's 25% times the yellow at this time, which is why we're getting that 65. 75 times the 255 here for the cyan, which is where we get the 191. Remember the green was 255 for both the yellow and cyan, which is why it remains fixed in all three transparent areas. That's how we get it. It should be pretty simple. Number of people struggling at this point, not uncommon, but hopefully this will help resolve it. Notice not any real big irregularities. Something a little strange happened here. Maybe it took a little bit more time with the selections. We could have resolved that. It seemed to happen in all three of these cases. Not sure, but went through this pretty quick. About 4.5 minutes at this point. Really wouldn't expect this to take a little more than 15 minutes in most cases. If you're spending more than that, review both videos. Maybe go to the Adobe site, look for the help on using layers. You can do this in 4 layers if need be. Label the layers if you're having trouble keeping track of them, and that should be it. Thanks.